So in today's video, we're going to talk about how to become a better ground war player. And that's going to first start off with understanding that positioning is more important than chasing kills. And as we go throughout the video, I'm going to show you a few different examples. But at the end result, we're going to talk about how you're going to get more kills, less deaths than pretty much everyone in the lobby. And these are the things that the top tier players are doing. I know there's a lot of you out there that are trying to go for 50, 60, 100 plus kills, and these are going to be the strategies to get you from point A, where you're at now, and point B is to that level, and then you continue going forward to C, D, E, F, and continue improving as a player. Because as you guys know that have been subscribed to the channel for a while, channel is all about helping players improve at Call of Duty. If you do enjoy the video, let me know by hitting that like button. I do have a goal in today's video of 500 likes, so if you help me out with that, I'd be very appreciative. And if you're looking to find your way back for more Call of Duty content, I definitely recommend subscribing with notifications on. So this first map that we have up top here is the farmland map, and that's 32 versus 32, and that's going to be very similar to the 32 versus 32 maps. And right here on the second one, we have Anaya Palace, which is 24 versus 24, or the 10v10 playlist. It is currently within rotation. And then right here we have little old Grasna Raid. But if you start making the comparisons, the large scale map isn't as large as you would think. And one of the main reasons I wanted to point out the scales of these things in comparison to each other is because a lot of times people get overwhelmed by the map size when they jump into ground war. They're a little bit lost. They're not sure exactly what's supposed to happen. So if we took this miniature Grasna Raid here and we placed it over the top over here in farmland, then we'd end up with about 5 or 6 different Grasna Raids on one map. And that's important because that's how you want to play farmland. Pretty much you want to focus on one aspect of the map and treat it as if it's a smaller map. A lot of times people don't know exactly where to go, they get lost, and that ends up leading to a ton of deaths, not a ton of kills, and that ends up putting people in a running simulator. So what we're going to take a look at is we're going to look at a little bit of farmland and a little bit of palace, and I'm going to explain kind of my thought process and how it's more about positioning than chasing kills. Because if you chase the right position, you're going to get a ton of kills. If you're chasing kills, you're never going to get in the right position that's going to allow you to streak up and get the kills you want. So I come in over here after a death, and really what I'm trying to do is, if you look at the mini map, I am trying to get to this building or this next building over here, because those end up being what I would call the power positions. And we talked about power positions in the past, and they've catered all the maps to have certain power positions on every map. Regardless of the size of the map, there are different areas that are designated as power positions. And what makes them so powerful is because you can end up with a ton of kills and a low number of deaths. And it's understanding through repetition where these individual locations are. So if you're watching anyone play ground war or a regular 10v10 or 6v6, look at where they go. 9 times out of 10, if I could just click on videos at random, and pretty much everyone goes to the same spots because they're already smart enough to figure out the way the game was designed. This was a revenge kill, by the way. That guy was sitting there for way too long. I ended up dying, coming back in, and he was still mounted in the same position. But look at how strong this individual position is. And what I'm doing is just paying attention, knowing where the spawns are. UAV happens to pop up. When I call it in, I take the next guy out, and then I'm going back to the window. And right here, I already know I'm going to go ahead and track and get a bunch of kills. I end up just taking them out as they come in. I come around, I can see that this guy coming through the window, and I'm locking down this power position. Before, it used to be the upstairs and the downstairs. Now, obviously, with the downstairs, this still ends up being one of the best power positions in the game. As we come around over here, this is an opening rush, and what I'm trying to do is get into an area where I can actually get a ton of kills. And inevitably, what should happen is as I go in here, I should be able to get some easy kills from people jumping from D over to E. I put a claymore to cover my side, and I'm expecting people to be running from the right side to the left side. So here's a guy come through, and look at how it lines up for me. This is obviously an opening rush power position. These guys aren't expecting me to be there that quick because they're expecting me to be at B or C, and by coming around to this edge, I can actually pick them off as they're coming in there, and then hopefully as my team is pushing up, which it only looks like there's a tank pushing up, that should allow us to get a little bit of map control and get in position to actually win the game and maintain that initial map control. Because ideally what we're looking for is A, B, C, and all I'm doing is going to patrol this building, make sure I land my shots, get some easy kills, call in a UAV, and this is how you have to play ground war, and this is inevitably how you play modern warfare. That's why people love Rush, Shipment, and Shoot House so dang much, is because literally they don't have to think about how the game wants you to be played. All they do is just do the exact same thing over and over with ridiculously bad spawns. But at least in this case, you could use a little bit of your brain, kind of figure out where people are going to be. And now you can see I've made it back to this individual spot. And that's one of the things I get a lot in the comment section, like, man, I don't know how you move around in ground wars. Like, man, there's snipers everywhere. And you notice I went around this side of the map instead of that top side where that open field is, where there's a lot of snipers. Also, as I approached it, I made sure that I was very close to objects, also so I wasn't in the line of sight of a sniper. So now I'm spawning in again, and this is actually a different spot. I'm spawning in a little bit later on. I come through, and I go ahead and decide I want to clear B, and then now I got to go ahead and work backwards to try and work towards B. And that's a little bit of the hard part, is sometimes your team loses map control, so you got to babysit. Because right now, if I go ahead to C, there's nothing going to happen over there because the majority of the enemies are going to be on this side of the map. So you see how I kind of stick towards the edge. I'm expecting people to be on the left side. I'm able to clean up a couple easy kills, and I'm waiting to actually push forward. I saw something on the corner of my eye. I didn't highlight blue, so I didn't know what it was quite yet. So I double checked, see my teammates are pushing up. That guy ends up getting taken out, and then I'm debating on my time to actually push. And you can see where my teammates are, so I feel a little bit more comfortable. And what I want to try and do is work the individual area. So when we're talking about the larger scale of the map, the first area I was at, that's kind of like a Grasna raid, the yellow house to where it overlooks D, which what we saw all in the beginning. That is Grasna raid. Now from C to B, this is going to be another miniature Grasna raid. So you just got to remember that. I got to treat this as if it's another mini map. Obviously, there's areas that are a little bit larger, whatever the case is, but that's what you're playing this map as. And that B and C are like the ABC objectives when it comes to regular Grasna raid. So now, as I'm coming through, I'm going to try and take over this building and then slowly push at the right time to get B. Obviously, the enemy has that VTOL. I come through, take that guy out. I call in my UAV. My teammates are pushed up on this left side in that little room. There is a guy on the objective, but I'm really waiting for us to get solid map control. My teammate runs across. I'm looking to see what's going on in the minimap, and then I'm trying to push up, and I'm trying to push up this way to try and regain some of that map control. I end up seeing a guy over there, a little bit too far, and then I come through, and then this ends up being another building. So I basically transitioned from one Grasna raid to the next. So now I've transitioned over to this building, and now the AB area is going to be how I'm going to play the map. I've rotated over here, listening for audio cues, making sure the room's clear, and paying attention to what's going on in the minimap. As I come through, I'm expecting someone on the right side, just peeking it, and I gotta wait for the kills to happen. You can see a tank's coming through, taking them out, and then they're all distracted. So this is gonna line up a lot of easy kills for me as long as I can pay attention. Laser that guy out of the room, and then now I'm able to peek around, see what's going on, and you're continually moving around. It's not like I'm just camped, pre-aiming, mounted on the edge of a doorway. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that unless maybe you're one off a streak. Take out the guy that has the highest risk to me, then I'm able to take out the other ones. I need to reload, and unfortunately I got to get out of the window so no one's pre-aiming me. Right here I do have a VTOL, and to do it the safe way, I can't call it in right away. So I close that door. So I actually wanted to call it in. It says airport space is too crowded. So what I'm doing is listening for audio cues to see if I could sneak up on someone. So I open the door, and then I peek out, and I can hear the guy, and I come through, I'm able to shoot him in the back. So it ends up just being able to chain those kills together is particularly important when you're actually controlling these areas of the map. So like any other power position, yeah, regardless of the map, you're gonna have to worry about how to navigate it and properly address how you're gonna maneuver. Same thing from here. Now I'm transitioning from this side of the map towards D, because even though there are a okay number of people over at A majority of the enemies are sitting at D. So that's really what I was trying to do, is push over to that side of the map and then try and get some kills. I get in a couple engagements, and I can see where everyone's at on the mini-map. So as I come through, I'm trying to go ahead and get this guy shot in the back, and then I'm gonna move my way up, and I'm gonna take out these two guys on the top. Obviously, sometimes you can't mantle stuff properly. For whatever reason, I go come around, and then I know that I'm gonna get into two gunfights. There's the first one, predicting the other one, I jump out and get the kill. And this is like I'm moving back into this yellow space, pick my time, and move into the next building. And a lot of times people are just overthinking it. Think of it going from, okay, now I just finished going from Gunrunner, now I'm moving to Grasna Raid, now I'm gonna move to Ramaza. So you're learning different parts of the map, and it's different depending on what side you're on, because the spawns are pretty rigid. I know I did a full video on how the spawns work within Ground War, but keeping that in mind, Basically, now when you spawn on the other side, you're going to kind of have to learn the flow of where people spawn and make those adjustments. And that's going to lead to more kills. So we can see the same thing happening here. I know there's enemies in the C building. So as I approach up when it comes to the palace map, I'm trying to pick this guy off. I thinking there's only one guy in there. I do end up getting the kill, but it's not enough to actually get the guy taken care of. I don't have enough people with me, so I'm going to take a different approach all the way through. The Claymore ended up taking that guy out, and then I'm going around to the other side through the bottom. And you can see my teammates are starting to overtake the top area, and I'm just going to try and clear it up and maneuver around this building because enemies still should be spawning on here as long as the teammate wasn't on the objective. So I'm just rotating around, providing cover because this is where people are going to approach. And once we get a hold of A, B, C, now I know, okay, most of the enemies should be at D and E. A lot of times what confuses people is because it's a larger map, they think that you're camping. Is this camping in this one building? If I was staying on the entire map of Grasna Raid, would you call that camping? No, it's like no matter how fast you move around Grasna Raid, you're still in Grasna Raid. And that's pretty much what I'm doing here. I know there's two guys right here. I can't give away my position. There's a third one, and I'm just waiting for the right time. There's a guy up top. I can't tell if this is a good guy or bad guy. It ends up being a bad guy, and my teammate gets an engagement there. Name didn't pop up, good or bad, but I'm just trying to pay attention here. I know the guy's gonna be coming for me. I back off, go around, and then I decide to take a different angle. And I'm treating this building like it is a power position. I'm moving around within it. Once I know where the enemies are, it just makes it significantly easier to play. I come up through, get in a gunfight there, finish the guy off. I'm expecting another guy to come through. I put it over on B because then what happens is as soon as people spawn, they're going to be hitting with it, and that's going to force them into the building. I got to go ahead and work my way back to C because even though I've stayed alive this whole time, teammates are dying left and right. I know there's a couple up top on that side, and now I got to move around to the other side, and I'm really trying to get this power position back because we lost it rather quickly. I'm coming up. I know this is a 50-50 gunfight. If I come up, the guy's pre-aiming. He was getting something out of the crate. I jump down, get out of there, and I know there's another guy, and I got to come around. This ends up being a couple lucky gunfights. Guy's just pre-aiming. I take him out. I know there's a guy down low somewhere. I come back through, clean him up. He's on the right side, seeing if he's going to run through, and then I can get an easy kill shooting him in the back. But you can see how I'm navigating around the space. Not necessarily you have to camp, but this is where I've stayed because we haven't really had a good control of the area. And sometimes that'll happen. You don't get strong control of a certain area. So what you have to do is just play your life and continue to move around the map. I'm only 2 off the advanced UAV. And then once I utilize that, that'll allow me to get more gun kills. And I know there's a guy coming through. I don't know how I survived this dude. I jumped around, turned around, able to take him out. And now let's look at another part of the map. I died, I called in a UAV. And now I'm spawning in on this side. You can see where everyone's at. And what I want to try and do is this is another part of the map. Now I want to go ahead and try and get a lockdown on this little area, this little bubble where people are spawning in, and then continue to navigate around it and pick up my kills. So this is the next life, the immediate next life. I called in the advance and I'm able to come get guys. There's a guy right here. I know there's a guy on the wall. I was thinking he was coming around. It looks like he went upstairs. So I'm paying attention to that. I know there's 2 guys around here. I go ahead and pre-aim, take that guy out again, turn around, the guy jumps out, I take him out. There's another guy going up the stairs, paying attention again to that UAV. He goes back and then he decides to come back up the stairs, paying attention, easy kill. You can see there's 3 or 4 guys pushing on the right side. As I come through, look at how the power position lines up. They're not even paying attention because there are 24 of them. I have to kill a lot of them before somebody comes back for a revenge kill. So if you're able to get in the right position, get a few kills, maneuver to the next spot, get more kills, maneuver to the next spot, you start chaining up a lot of kills. Obviously, I'm using an advanced, so I'm not going for kills. Typically, you want to go with that VTOL, chopper gunner, gunship. If you're able to chain those streaks together really quickly, die, and then repeat, you can go ahead and get a high kill game. But I wanted to break that down because there's a lot of confusion with how to play ground war. Hopefully you found it helpful. If you did, let me know by hitting that like button. If you're brand new to the channel, like to find your way back, definitely consider subscribing with notifications on. Do appreciate all your support on the channel. Thank you for watching. As always, have a great day.